She ignored your texts for 3 days, then you stopped reaching out, and suddenly she's double texting you at midnight, asking what you've been up to. Here's the uncomfortable truth most men never accept. The moment you stop chasing is the exact moment she starts caring. This isn't a trick, it's not manipulation, it's psychology. And it's happening right now in millions of relationships while guys wonder why the women they gave everything to suddenly went cold, and the women they barely thought about can't stop thinking about them. If you've ever felt confused about why being nice didn't work, why caring seemed to push her away, or why the guy who barely tries gets the attention you wish you had, this video will change everything. Because what you're about to learn goes against every Disney movie, every romantic comedy, and every piece of advice your mother gave you about treating women right. The game isn't what you think it is. You've been there. You meet someone who makes your heart race, so you do what feels natural. You text her first, every single time. You make yourself available. You show interest. You plan dates. You show up. You care. And at first, it seems like it's working. She responds, she laughs at your jokes, maybe she even says she appreciates how different you are from other guys. But then something shifts. Her replies get shorter. She's suddenly busy more often. The excitement you felt in the beginning starts to feel one-sided. You double down, thinking maybe you just need to show her more attention, more affection, more effort. But the harder you try, the further she pulls away. Meanwhile, you watch her post stories about some guy who doesn't even have her saved in his contacts, a guy who takes hours to reply, a guy who didn't plan anything, but somehow she's rearranging her schedule for him. And you're sitting there thinking, I did everything right. I was respectful, I was consistent, I showed her I cared. What am I missing? You're missing the one thing that makes attraction work, and it's not what you've been told. This isn't opinion. This is rooted in evolutionary psychology, behavioral science, and decades of research into human attraction. Dr. Robert Cialdini's work on scarcity and desire shows that humans assign higher value to what feels rare or difficult to obtain. This applies to products, opportunities, and yes, people. Psychologist Dr. Helen Fisher, who studies romantic love using brain scans, found that uncertainty and unpredictability activate the same reward centers in the brain as addictive substances. When someone doesn't know where they stand with you, their brain becomes obsessed with figuring it out. Here's what happens on a neurological level. When a woman chases a man who doesn't chase her back, her brain releases dopamine in irregular patterns. This creates what's called intermittent reinforcement, the same mechanism that makes gambling addictive. She doesn't get consistent validation, so her mind fixates on earning it. Compare that to the man who's always available, always responsive, always predictable. There's no mystery, no challenge, no dopamine spike, just comfort. And comfort, while nice, doesn't create attraction. It creates friendship. This doesn't mean women want to be treated poorly. It means they're biologically wired to pursue what feels valuable. And value is communicated through scarcity, standards, and self-respect. Let's break down why women chase men who don't chase them into 3 core principles. First, scarcity creates perceived value. Think about luxury brands. A Rolex doesn't advertise itself as desperate to be on your wrist. Limited drops, wait lists, exclusivity. The harder something is to get, the more people want it. You are no different. When you're always available, always texting first, always waiting for her reply, you communicate low value. Not because you're a bad person, but because abundance isn't attractive. Rarity is. Second, challenge triggers the chase instinct. Women don't want someone they've already won. They want someone they're still earning. The moment you become predictable, the game is over in her mind. Not because she's cruel, but because the human brain stops paying attention to what it's already conquered. A man who has his own life, his own mission, his own boundaries, becomes a puzzle she wants to solve. Third, Independence signals confidence. When you don't need her validation to feel good about yourself, she notices. Confidence isn't loud, it's quiet. It's the man who doesn't spiral when she doesn't text back, the man who doesn't change his plans just because she's free. That energy is magnetic. It says, I'm complete without you, but you're welcome to add to my life. That's the difference between neediness and attraction. Let me tell you about Jake. Jake met a woman named Mia at a mutual friend's party. She was smart, beautiful, the kind of woman who had options. Jake, like most guys, felt lucky just to get her number. So he texted her the next day, then the day after. He planned elaborate dates, he drove across town to see her, he made himself her emotional support system. At first, Mia seemed into it, but after a few weeks, her energy shifted. She started canceling. Her texts got colder. Eventually, she told him she wasn't ready for something serious. Jake was crushed, but instead of begging or asking what went wrong, he just stopped. He didn't block her, didn't post sad quotes. He just went back to his life, hit the gym harder, focused on his business, started going out with friends again. 3 weeks later, Mia texted him, "Hey, stranger," then another text, then a call. She asked him to grab drinks. Jake agreed, but only on a day that worked for him. He didn't rearrange anything. At the bar, Mia admitted she'd been thinking about him, that she missed the way he made her feel. Here's the twist. Jake didn't change his personality. He just stopped chasing. And the moment he did, she started. Here's what you need to understand. This isn't about playing games or being cold. It's about valuing yourself enough to not settle for one-sided effort. When you stop chasing, you're not punishing her. You're honoring yourself. You're saying, I'm not going to beg for someone's time when they should feel lucky to have mine. Actionable steps. 1. Stop initiating every conversation. Let her wonder about you. 2. Have a life that doesn't revolve around her. Your mission, your goals, your hobbies, they come first. 3. Don't be afraid to walk away from low effort. If she's not investing, she's not interested enough, and that's okay. Someone else will be. This mindset shift changes everything. You stop being the guy who waits around hoping she notices him. You become the man she can't stop thinking about, not because you tricked her, but because you respected yourself enough to require mutual effort. That's the energy that makes women chase. If this perspective shifted something for you, go ahead and like this video. It helps more men find this content and break out of the same cycles that keep them stuck. Subscribe if you want more insights on psychology, attraction, and understanding what actually works in dating and relationships. There's a lot more we're unpacking on this channel. And if you're ready to go deeper, check out the next video on screen. We're breaking down the exact behaviors that make you unforgettable to women. The less you need her, the more she'll need you.